On March 31st, 1997 is when Casca lost her mind. When you think about it, at that time, in 1997, I was only 3 years old. Actually, 2, now I think about it. It's crazy to think that there is probably many that started this series before I was even born and been waiting for Casca to finally gain her memories back. I'm 22, almost going to be 23 years old in a couple of months, and I just can't believe it that, finally, Casca has regained what she lost so many years ago. I know this is going to be an incredibly emotional chapter for so many. I mean, if you've been with this series for decades, I can't imagine. I can't even begin to imagine the feelings that you must have right now. I mean, I've been with this series for about 5 years now, and I'm getting them feels. Like, reading this chapter, I'm like, whoa, it's been a journey. Like, it's been a long journey. And that's just me as someone that's been reading this for 5 years. And I can't imagine someone that's been reading this for 20-something years, like 21 years and longer. There's probably people out there that have been reading this series their entire life. Probably since, like, they were young, and they finally got here and they grew up with it. I just can't imagine how they must feel seeing this chapter. Just like, it finally happened. I'm just gonna say, like, Casca, welcome back. I mean, seeing the image of Casca when her eyes just open up, you know she's back. And the question is, does she really want to be back? That is still something left to really be said. Like, we don't really know. We don't really know how she's going to interact with the Guts or not. But even then, though, at this moment in time with this chapter, she, at the very least, has her sanity back. The question is, does she want it back? But, I gotta give it. I gotta give it to Kentaro. The build-up for this has been one of the most long sought after scenes or moments we've wanted from the series for a long time. I personally, as someone that has been reading this for 5 years, and when I got to the eclipse scene and all that, when Casca lost her mind, I remember thinking, like, this is messed up, and I was hoping that there would be some way for Casca to eventually get her memories back, for Guts wouldn't be alone. Thankfully, throughout his journey, he has managed to make a few companions. I mean, he's had Farnese, Shirake, Serpico and all that. He's made friends. He hasn't, like, been completely alone. But at the start, though, his journey was very, very, very lonely. And he was with a woman that he loved deeply, but could no longer be what she once was. And you gotta imagine how painful that is for the journey of Guts and what he went through throughout the story. And after eventually just breaking down and realizing he needed help to handle Casca, we're finally here. If it wasn't for Guts finally opening up and finding a new, family, a new home, this wouldn't have been possible. And it just says something. It really does. Shout out to Farnese for the character development she has received throughout this series, because I saw many theories, I even kind of talked about a long time ago, that there was a possibility that maybe Farnese could have potentially tried to get rid of Casca or something, because, Casca loves Guts, and Guts loves Casca, and as we know, Farnese loves Guts. So I remember mentioning this, and many others mentioning it, that there was a possibility that, maybe Farnese wouldn't want Casca to come back, but that is definitely not what happened. She worked through it, showcased how much, she has changed. She realizes how much Casca actually means to her, and how she helped her out in time of need a long time ago. And not just Guts, but Casca, and it made her feel like she was worthwhile, like she was worth something, and now she wants to help Casca out to make her feel like she's worth something. So, I like the development that Farnese got, and I think Kentaro couldn't have done it any better way. Now, to get right into the awakening, okay, her coming back. Now, we don't really know how Casca is right at the moment. Like, we know her mind is back. We know she is whole once again. All of her memories, everything is back in one piece. The question is, how will she react to all of this? Will she be overcome by so much grief that she just breaks down once again and just wants to, hide back in her mind? Will she want to just end herself? That's a possibility. It is. I mean, especially after everything that happened. Will she want to go and kill Griffith similar to what Guts wants to do, or what Guts kind of gave up over time because he thought getting, helping out Casca through all of this was worth it more than getting his revenge? I mean, when you think about it, will Casca pull a Guts? Will Casca act like Guts was when the Black Swordsman arc started? For instance, when Guts was on this warpath, when he was just so fueled with anger and malice that he just charged after every apostle to take them down. Will Casca be like that? Will she be what Guts once was? And will Guts have to help her out through that time of need? Or will she be someone that will be with Guts and wants to be similar to Guts and not want to go after Griffith? I mean, I'm just excited. I'm happy for what I got. Now, I do believe when everything is said and done, I do believe if Casca gets to see Guts, like, we're gonna have a reunion. Like, we're definitely gonna have a reunion probably in the next chapter. I better not see, like, a change of POV to, Griffith. Please don't do that. Please don't do that to me, Kentaro. Please don't change the POV to some other, group and all that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like what's going on with Griffith and stuff in the city, but I want to see this Casca stuff. You've made us wait for 21 years for this. Please do not do that. Thankfully, there's not any break next month, so we are getting a chapter, thankfully. But I just hope there's no POV shift, because I really want to see Guts coming in contact with Casca and finally seeing them have a combo after such a long time. I mean, I can already see it. I can already envision it in my head. Guts is going to see Casca awake and speak. I can already see the man just breaking. I can see the man just hitting the floor. Just picture this in your mind. Close your eyes and just picture this in your mind. Guts sees Casca. He looks at her. And he falls to his knees, just looking at her. And you just see him start crying. Or he just rushes over to her, grabs her, and cries in her chest. I can see something like that. Because the whole reason he's been pushing himself for so long, so many chapters, for decades now, real life decades, is because of Casca, because of how much he loves her. And seeing how that most likely is going to happen, where the man finally gets to see something, like the end of his journey. That's what this is. Finally, after all of the hell he has went through, the end of the journey is in sight. He is finally here. He finally has gotten what he wanted. If there's one thing that he has really wanted for his entire life after he lost everything, was Casca again. And now that he has this, he has a group of friends, a family, and he has Casca. Guts right now, he's happy with his life. He is truly, truly happy. But the sad thing is, as we all know, when it comes to Berserk, the happy times don't always last. Darkness eventually comes in. And I can definitely see Griffith and all of them, and all the other apostles and the God Hand coming in and attacking this island because of the whole connection with the mistletoes, as I talked about a long time ago when it comes to the trees. I can definitely see Griffith coming in and destroying the place, and maybe that's causing a whole bunch of darkness to happen in the upcoming chapters. But for now, though, let's appreciate what we got. Let's appreciate what Kentaro gave us this month. Now, there's not really a whole much more to really talk about when it comes to this chapter, because it's an incredibly simple chapter. It is. But at the same time, though, it hits home. I think for many of us that have been waiting for a long time, this chapter is going to break you. It definitely is. I mean, I'm emotional right now, and I'm trying to hold back actually tearing up, because it's just like, after spending so many hours on this series, reviewing it, discussing it, rereading it, I've reread Berserk like 3 times, and then just seeing this, just like, thank you, Kentaro. And shout out to those that recommended me Berserk such a long time ago. I mean, I don't know if those fellow Chibits that recommended me to Berserk still watch me. I doubt it, honestly. But I mean, if you are still watching my videos somehow, and you put up with me over the past 5 years, I do appreciate it, and thank you for recommending me such a fantastic series. One of my favorite series of all time. It is my favorite series. Like, my #1 manga. And I don't say that lightly. I don't. It's been incredible journey to this point. So thank you to all of you that recommended this series. Thank you to Kentaro for just making quality work and just made this chapter be a milestone for Berserk. It's just like Guts finally is one step closer to happiness. So with that, I'm going to end this video here. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And so with that, be safe. Chibi out.